I'm Judy Shaw for NYSE Floor Talk. Joining me today is Enrique Beltranena. He is the CEO of Volaris. Enrique, it's so great to see you. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me with your audience.
Of course, wonderful to have you. Now, a quick note to our viewers before we get started. This interview is for informational purposes only. The NYSE doesn't recommend any investments or investment strategies. Now, Enrique, tell me, how has Volaris navigated the pandemic, and how has the company performed compared to other regional airlines during this time?
So I think in general, you did really well, despite it is a big crisis, and we need to recognize that it has not been easy, okay? But having said that, I mean, the company enters the crisis into a process which is where we had to reduce a lot of capacity, etc. But we had a very strong cash flow, a very strong cash position at the beginning of the crisis. And second, we were able to basically conserve that level of cash flow through the first 3-4 months of the pandemic. And that allows us to go forward in a much better way. The second element, which is really important, is the level of costs. I mean, you need to know that Volaris is the lowest unit cost operator airline in the Americas and the second or third in the world. So that allows you to manage through a storm like this in a much better way.
Okay, now I know there's a price war going on among airlines in Mexico right now. What is Volaris doing that is substantially different to get more passengers on your planes?
You know, I think it depends on several things. The first thing is that position that I mentioned on costs allows Volaris to reduce the prices in a much more lower levels than our competitors. And when we say that, I mean, before the crisis, our unit revenues were below the unit costs of any of the operators in the entire Americas. So what that allows Volaris is to reduce its price level dramatically, and with that incentivate and go back to the market and push lower prices, which allow the consumers to restart and create an elasticity in terms of prices in the market. We are doing that to the level that the company is now back with 70% of the capacity that we used to have, and we are operating at load factors which are above 75%.
Enrique, regarding safety on board, you're one of the first ultra-low cost carriers in Mexico to put together a sanitary protocol. How are your clients responding to it, and are they still asking for blocked seats?
Yeah, I mean, you need to understand that people would like to be traveling alone if possible, okay? But we are a commercial airline. The second thing is, it's something important that people do not realize. Airlines have still to do weight and balance when we do a takeoff, okay? So we still need to put the people somewhere and try to push sometimes weight towards the front of the aircraft, etc. So these kind of measures are probably available when you have low levels of load factor. But with the first we need to operate with much more density, with much more load factor on board, so we can go out from the crisis. Yes, they are asking for it, but I think in general, the comments, Judy, and that's something I feel really proud about it, is we launched this protocol as probably one of the first airlines to launch a protocol in the entire Latin America. And the protocol was very well received, but second, when you ask the customers if they would recommend Volaris after flying during these times, they would say absolutely, because we are applying those protocols in a consistent and coherent way.
Okay, well, Enrique, it's been great to talk with you, and I want to thank you for joining me on NYSE Floor Talk.
Thank you very much. Great to see you, and thanks to your audience again, okay?